Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week 19 of the 25-26 Premier League season. And it's going to be the New Year's Day games later on. But as always, before we begin, let's see how I did last week. I got one scoreline correct. I got Sunderland and Leeds drawing 1-1 correct, plus 5 more outcomes, so that is 8 points, taking my season total up to 111. And this is how the table looks after 18 matches. And without further ado, let's predict this week's coming matches. And we start with Burnley against Newcastle. And this is a big game. Burnley are in the relegation zone, but they are actually in pretty good form. They've drawn quite a few games in recent times. Newcastle, it's not looking great for them at the minute. They lost 1-0 to Man United, and their away form is terrible this season. I do think that it wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw or maybe even a Burnley win, but I've got to back Newcastle to go back to winning ways against the Burnley side, who are surely looking like one of the favourites for relegation this season. I'm going to back Newcastle for a win, 2-1. I think Newcastle might just pull it out from somewhere, so 2-1 to the Magpies. Next up, we've got Chelsea against Bournemouth, and these are another two sides that are, well, coming off the back of defeats. Bournemouth 4-1 losers to Brentford. Chelsea off the back of a 2-1 defeat to Aston Villa last game week. That was around the somewhat 27th fixtures. It's an interesting one. Bournemouth are on dreadful form under Andoni Iraola, but Chelsea aren't on great form either. But it is at Stamford Bridge. I think Chelsea somehow do have the quality to get the result over the line here. So I'm going to back Chelsea for a 2-1 win. I don't know who's going to score the goals. Maybe João Pedro. Who else is firing in? Well, I think Chelsea are just going to edge the 3 points here. 2-1 to go back to winning ways. Next up, it's Nottingham Forest against Everton in the Sean Dyche derby. Forest, they're hovering just above the drop zone. They are hovering just above the drop zone this season. Everton, they're not in great form either. They've dropped to 12th in the table. Dropped out of the top half and into the bottom half. Thing is, I still think, despite Everton are very light on players, they're missing Jack Grealish, Keenan Dewsbury-Hall and Dye to AFCON. But despite all of that, I think Everton still have the quality to draw against the Forest side, who are looking a bit shaky this season. I think it's going to end in a 1-1 draw. I can see a goal from both sides and a share of the spoils, a point apiece, 1-1 draw. Next up, we've got West Ham United against Brighton. And West Ham are another side that are struggling. They are in the drop zone, the 18th place. I don't know how long Nuno's got left in the job, but I do think that I want to see West Ham do well at the London Stadium, but Brighton, to be fair, Brighton haven't been on the best run of form recently either, but just looking at how bad West Ham have been playing recently, I think Brighton will get the win. I think Brighton will win it 2-1. I think Seagulls will just have enough. Maybe a Danny Welbeck goal, or I don't know who else, Castulas. Maybe he might get one, but I just think the Seagulls might just have enough to edge it 2-1 and to get a huge 3 points to push up towards Europe again. Next up, we have got game of the weekend, the week and maybe even game of the season. It's Arsenal against Aston Villa. I am buzzing to see what happens in this match. Both these sides off the back of 2-1 victories. Arsenal with a 2-1 against Brighton. Villa with the 2-1 against Chelsea. That is a pretty convincing result. Villa are now on for the back of 11 straight victories, and one of those 11 was at Villa Park against Arsenal. So Villa are only 3 points behind Arsenal in the league, and if they do win this, I'm willing to say that Villa are very much in the title race. But it's at the Emirates. I do think Arsenal might have enough quality in the tank. They've still got loads of players that are firing in goals or can fire in goals, and I do think I'm not going to back Villa to lose, but I'm going to back a high-scoring draw. I'll go for a 2-2 draw. I'll go for a Desmond on this one. I think it could be quite an entertaining game, and yeah, I think 2-2 and a point apiece, which would probably benefit Man City in this title race more. Next up, we've got Manchester United against Wolves. And what can we say about Wolves? They lost again, 2-1 to Liverpool, which wasn't the worst of results. Man United with the crucial 1-0 win against Newcastle. It's crazy. If Wolves lose this match, they'll finish 2025 on just 2 measly points, which is in the table, which is very grisly indeed. Man United are hard to predict this season, but in recent times they've been getting results over the line more frequently against a Wolves side who have only drawn 2 games all season. I think this could be quite a comfortable win, regardless of if Bruno Fernandes is playing, and of course they're missing Ahmad and Mbeumo, but I still think Man United have enough quality to win. Wolves don't tend to get beaten by a lot, battered this season, but I think Man United might score a few. I'll go for a 3-1 win to the Red Devils here, and the very crucial 3 points to maybe even push towards Champions League football. Next up, we've got Crystal Palace against Fulham, and when I look at this match, I can see draw. I can see draw written all over it. Despite, Palace haven't been on a great run of form at all recently, but they did lose 1-0 to Spurs last game week. But I thought at least in the second half they looked all right. They were pushing for goal. As for Fulham, they're actually on a good run of form. They're up to 10th. They're in the top half now. And it feels like just a few weeks ago we were discussing them in a relegation scrap. But it is at Selhurst Park, and I think if Palace push with, I don't know if Gahey's moving in January, but, Mateta can score goals, Yeremy Pino can. I think Palace might find a goal from somewhere, and then, of course, Raul Jimenez is banging them in for Fulham right now. So I'm going to stay on the fence with a 1-1 draw. I think a point apiece won't won't hinder either, because both mid-table, so a 1-1 draw. Next up, we've got Liverpool against Leeds United. And this is a big game, because Leeds are on very good form at the minute. A lot of draws, to be fair, but they're not losing. They haven't lost many games in the last 5 or 6. A lot of draws. They keep getting results over the line. And as for Liverpool, they tend to... they're getting the job done. It hasn't been very convincing over the last month or two, but I do think that if it was at Ellen Road, I may well be fancying Leeds for something here. But with it being at Anfield, I do think Liverpool will win again, and I think there could be a few goals. I'm going for a thriller here. Liverpool to win it 3-2. I think that's going to be quite an interesting one. I think Calvert-Lewin will score again for Leeds. Then, Ekatike maybe. Well, he's firing them in for Liverpool right now. Maybe Alexis McAllister might pop up and get one. But I'm buying Liverpool for a 3-2 win and another 3 points. Next up, we've got another huge match. It's Sunderland against Manchester City. Sunderland come into this game off the back of a 1-1 draw against Leeds, as I had predicted. Manchester City coming off the back of a 2-1 victory. That was against Nottingham Forest. Sunderland are still unbeaten at home this season, but they're against a Man City side who are flying right now. They are well pushing Arsenal for this title. As much as I'd love to see Sunderland's unbeaten streak at the Stadium of Light continue, I don't see it happening. I'm going to back Man City for a narrow win, 2-1, but that will be enough for the 3 points. Cherky's firing them in, Foden, Haaland, Rangers. They've got some good players that can score goals for them, and I think Man City will just narrowly, maybe last minute, get the 3 points. 2-1 City. And then finally, we've got the Thomas Frank derby. It's Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur. And Brentford off the back of a 4-1 victory over Bournemouth. Spurs off the back of a 1-0 victory against Palace. Very, very narrow win. This one's another tricky one to predict. Well, kind of. If I had to pick a winner here, I would pick Brentford, especially given it's at the G-Tech. But I'm wondering if Spurs might go back to getting results over the line. Not wins, but results. I think there's going to be some fun, some goals in this game. I'm going to sit on the fence with another 2-2 draw. I think, well, Richarlison banged in a couple against Palace, but they were ruled off, both of them, for being offside. Archie Gray got his first goal for Spurs. And I just think it might be a share of the spoils. A 2-2 draw when Frank returns to his former club. And there you have it, guys. All 10 Premier League matches for this game week done and dusted. My next Premier League predictions video will be in the new year, probably the 2nd of January maybe. And yeah, we'll see how well these predictions turn out to be, and I'll see you all in the next one.